Well, I'm here again with Frithjof Speetjens. Frithjof is a data analyst from the Netherlands. Hi, Frithjof. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Peter. Nice to be here again, because it's the second time.
I think last time we talked was in September, and we talked about the situation in Europe. We talked, of course, about Ukraine and Russia, and a little bit about the European perspective on what's going on in the world. In your view, Frithjof, what is the big concern right now, looking from the Netherlands?
The biggest concern at this point, I think, within the Netherlands, that's two-sided. One, that's of course the war here in Europe with Russia against Ukraine, because that has impact, and nobody knows where it will end. At this moment, the fight still goes on in an enormous, cruel war. And that will cost a lot of, at least a lot of money and a lot of energy costs, extra energy costs because of the war. And secondly, is the inflation also a bit contributed because of the war. And that's because all of Europe was always importing huge amounts of oil and gas from Russia. Russia started a war with Ukraine, and to hit Russia economically, Europe decided to not import any gas, any oil from Russia anymore. So they had to buy the oil from other countries and to buy the gas from other countries. That's, of course, a huge exponential costs regarding with this. And that's hitting the inflation in Europe. So I think those are the two issues. One, economically, and two, geopolitically, because of the war.
When we talked last in, I think, September of last year, we were talking about the coming winter and how that might affect Europe. Now we are in March. We are coming out of winter. How do you feel about the winter that you just came through? How was your experience with it?
Peter, great. Well, I'm very, very happy that we had a warm winter, not very cold. Temperatures were relatively high. So when it was a very tough winter, all houses in the Netherlands are almost heated by gas, and that would be a huge impact on the gas costs, because we're not importing fish from Russia anymore. So that was certainly a danger, and I'm very, very relieved that we have a soft winter and warm winter. So we did quite well, I think, until now. Yeah, certainly.
So you told me before that you are familiar, at least, with the Russian the pro-Russian media, like pro-Russian bloggers and kind of the pro-Russian side of things. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm still following also the pro-Russian side, certainly. Yep, I do.
Now, in the summer and fall of last year, I know the pro-Russian side was predicting that Europe would have to give in to Russia because of energy. How does that look now? Do you think Europe is going to have to make any concessions, or is Europe stronger now than it was before?
I think when listening to the Russian bloggers, they're saying mainly, well, we are very successful. Europe is paying very high gas prices, very high oil prices, far more than the world markets. They have a huge inflation, so Europe wants to hit Russia, but in the end they are hitting themselves. That's the point of view from Russia. But the view from Europe, when I look to Europe, I say, well, we'll do quite well, because we didn't have any gas crisis. All houses in the Netherlands and all of Europe were heated. Yeah, we have some issues from more costs, but overall we did quite fine. We managed as Europe, as all countries of Europe, to not having exploding oil prices, not having exploding gas prices, but it was relatively manageable. So looking to both sides, yeah, I think both sides are quite right, a bit right. Yeah, Russia bloggers are a bit right, because the costs in Europe are higher for energy. But yeah, Europe is right because they're not so extremely high as the Russian bloggers want to believe.
And is Europe prepared to continue to stand up against Russia in this way?
Yeah, well, I think the first winter is the most difficult one. After that, we found as the European Union other ways to get our energy and to get our oil and get our gas, get our coal, etc. So the first winter is the most difficult one. And after that, I think we can next winter we can manage better. Still waiting, of course, for if the winter will be very hard. We have to see what will happen then. But until now, I think we are quite okay.
Yeah. Oh, good, good.
Well,
And,
at least from the energy perspective.
thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to subscribe, leave some comments below, and watch our next video where we talk about the global balance of power and where we are right now in the cycle of the rise and fall of empires. Bye for now.